Over the last 35 years, I've been on over 400 different roller coasters, and here is how I rank my top 25 favorites as of 2022. Number 25, Mystic Timbers, Kings Island. Believe it or not, but Mystic Timbers is the only coaster from Kings Island in my top 25. And I gotta say, I love this coaster, and I know it gets a good amount of hype, but honestly, is it enough? Because Mystic Timbers is one of the best wooden roller coasters in the entire world. Number 24, MAKO SeaWorld Orlando. This by far is my favorite B&M Hyper. I love everything about MAKO's first half. However, that second half would have been so much better without the mid-course buzzkill brake run. Number 23, Copperhead Strike, located at CAROWINGS. Now, some of you might find this placement a little bit shocking, but the more I ride Copperhead, the more I love it. Seriously, this is one of the most fun roller coasters you'll ever ride, and I recommend that you do not sleep on Copperhead Strike. Number 22, Wicked Cyclone, Six Flags New England. This is one of RMC's most twisted and best layouts to date. That first drop in the back row is pure insanity, and you have to love the coaster's first inversion. Wicked Cyclone is one of the best examples of size doesn't mean anything when you're talking about a roller coaster. Staying at Six Flags New England for number 21, and that would be the Boomerang. Okay, I'm just joking, but Superman Ride of Steel. Now, I really prefer Wicked over Superman when I visit the park nowadays. However, I am placing Superman over Wicked for this top 25 only because of how great that layout really is. But I must say, I absolutely hate the restraints, and I've ridden this coaster with the old T-bars and I loved it. So I really hope that Six Flags puts some money into the new trains for a hypercoaster that arguably offers one of the best coaster layouts in the entire world. Number 20, Pantheon, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Now, normally I like to ride a coaster a few times before really getting a feel for it, but due to the lack of time, I was only able to get one ride on Pantheon, and it was just after park opening, though it was a backseat ride. While yes, the coaster could definitely benefit from some theming, I must say I really enjoyed Pantheon's layout, and my favorite moments was definitely the rolling launch. The airtime you get off that bunny hill is phenomenal, plus the rollback and the vertical spike. And I really do feel as if Pantheon is going to grow on me and all of us with future rides. Number 19, Phoenix at Knoebels. If you have not ridden Phoenix during the annual Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, then seriously, what are you doing with your life? Because this wooden roller coaster is a different beast that weekend. Also, my love for Phoenix is because of the magic seat, which is row 3 in the first car. It's just perfect. And if you've never been to Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, I highly recommend you changing that very soon. Number 18, Millennium Force, Cedar Point. I have been riding Cedar Point's Giga since May of 2000, and I really do love this roller coaster. Now, obviously, you're not going to find a ton of airtime on Millennium, but what you will find is the perfect sensation of speed. You really do feel like you're going 90 miles an hour through most of the ride's layout, and I absolutely love the 3 overbank turns that Intamin incorporated into the ride's layout. Plus, how can you go wrong with the views that you get from the lift hill? From the left, you have Lake Erie, and then from the right, you have the rest of Cedar Point. It doesn't get much better than that. Number 18, Phantom's Revenge, located at Kennywood. I am always amazed by this coaster because just by looking at it, you really don't think too much. Mainly because you really can't even see the best part of the ride's layout from the station. But that second drop that travels through Thunderbolt's supports is really where the coaster starts for me, because it's from there that Phantom's Revenge really becomes a top 10 worthy coaster. The airtime hills following the turnaround are just insane, and what makes Phantom so good is the wild restraints that the trains offer. Seriously, Phantom's Revenge is legit, but night rides are highly encouraged. Number 16, Wonder Woman at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And after riding the world's first single rail coaster when it opened in 2018, I was instantly hooked because this coaster has everything that I like in one: airtime, an insane first drop, quick transitions, intensity, and of course, a few inversions. And in my opinion, the only flaw of Wonder Woman would have to be the capacity and how short the coaster is. But hands down, Wonder Woman is going to be one of the most insane 30 seconds of your entire life. Number 15. Iron Rattler, located also at Fiesta, Texas. And I gotta say, I really do love this park. And Iron Rattler is just so good because it offers one of the best first drops on any coaster, especially in the back row. And then you get the great second hill and drop that plays off the rock quarry wall so beautifully. But for me, the real highlight of Iron Rattler would have to be that 0G roll because it's simply perfection. And of course, you cannot talk about Iron Rattler and not talk about that drop off the rock quarry wall that goes right into the tunnel, because that's another amazing aspect of Iron Rattler. Number 14. Twisted Timbers, located at King's Dominion. And just like Copperhead at CAROWINGS, the more I ride Twisted Timbers, the more I really do appreciate it. And in my opinion, it's one of RMC's best projects to date. I especially love the barrel roll drop and then the 3 airtime hills that make you feel like you're gonna fly out of the train. And after those airtime hills, the rest of the layout for Twisted Timbers really is solid and offers a great mix of RMC airtime. Number 13. Time Traveler, Silver Dollar City. This is one of my most recent credits, and I gotta say, I'm a huge fan. The world definitely needs more MAKO Extreme spinners. Seriously, Time Traveler, while not that intense, is just a fun roller coaster that offers a different ride experience every time you ride. And Time Traveler would honestly be a little bit higher on my rankings if the train did not stop for the very first launch. Because I gotta admit, it kinda killed the vibe. I can't even imagine what night rides would be like on Time Traveler. Number 12. Lightning Rod, Dollywood. Now I think it's important for you to know that Lightning Rod would be so much higher on my list if it ran the way it once did. But I get it. To keep this coaster reliable, Dollywood had to slow down the launch up the hill, making for a less intense ride. Either way, this is the best coaster at Dollywood, and night rides are a must. And one of my favorite moments on any coaster can be found on Lightning Rod. And of course, that's the quad down, because it really is something else and you got to experience it. Either way, Lightning Rod is by far the best coaster at Dollywood, and night rides are a must. Number 11. Outlaw Run, Silver Dollar City. Now back to the park that offers the best food out there, and this was my first RMC coaster, and my wife and I flew out to Branson in 2013 to catch a ride on Outlaw Run, and I've been in love with this ride ever since. And after riding it this past June, while it's not as smooth, I really do love the whole out of control feeling that this ride just delivers on. And in my opinion, every element is perfection, and this terrain wooden coaster, I feel as if it's underrated. Number 10. Sky Rush, Hershey Park. Now I know the trains aren't the best and the restraints do hurt. But suck it up, people, because riding Sky Rush in that back row on an outside seat is by far one of the best coaster experiences you're ever going to have. The airtime Sky Rush offers is another highlight for this hypercoaster, and this will always be one of my favorite rides ever. Number 9. Boulder Dash, Lake Compounce. I honestly don't think people talk about how awesome Boulder Dash really is. So I'm going to change that starting right now, because I have never ridden a roller coaster before not knowing if it's ever going to end. Well, I take that back, because Voyage at Holiday World also offers that feeling. So if you love Voyage, then you need to come to the awesome Lake Compounce and ride Boulder Dash, especially at night. The way Lake Compounce placed this CCI along the mountainside is really a work of art. So if you're traveling to Six Flags New England, make sure you have time to visit Lake Compounce. It's only 45 minutes away, and Boulder Dash really is that good. Number 8. The Voyage, Holiday World. Now, I will admit, I have not been on the Voyage since 2010, and I've never ridden Voyage at night. But there's no denying that this Gravity Group wooden coaster is among the best, because this ride just delivers on every part of the layout. And I especially love the 3 90-degree turns and the 8 or so tunnels that Voyage offers. And I cannot reiterate enough that I definitely need to get a night ride on Voyage. So that is my official 2023 goal. Number 7, Intimidator 305 King's Dominion. This roller coaster honestly isn't even right. Back row on I-305 is by far the most out of control ride experience I think I'll ever ride. Getting pulled down that first drop, then into the first turn, graying out, then all the quick low to the ground turns to follow really makes Intimidator 305 one special coaster. Number 6, El Toro Six Flags Great Adventure. After riding El Toro since the year it first opened, I gotta say it's honestly my favorite wooden roller coaster ever. And a large part of that is due to the back row going down the first drop, because it honestly gives you a feeling that no other coaster can do. But that's not to say that the front row isn't good, because of how insane the airtime is as you're going over the first 3 major hills. El Toro is not only one of the best looking roller coasters in the world, it's also one of the best. And I'm praying to the roller coaster gods that Six Flags Great Adventure will actually reopen it. Number 5, Maverick Cedar Point. Cedar Point and Intamin really did the unthinkable when they built a top 10 worthy coaster that only offers a 100-foot drop. Maverick is and always will be one of my favorites. I love the airtime, dodging the rocks, the mid-course launch, then flying right over the water, the stangle dives, and the last pop of airtime right before the brake run. Everything about Maverick is just perfect, from the setting to the trains to the layout. Hands down, a top 5 coaster. Number 4, Steel Vengeance, Cedar Point. I honestly have a very serious problem, because after my last trip to Cedar Point, I would get off Maverick and think, I like that better than Steel Vengeance. But then go ride Vengeance and think, no, I really do like it better than Maverick. So to be truthful, I like both coasters honestly about the same. Now the one downfall I have with Steel Vengeance is how uncomfortable the RMC trains are, and the whole process of getting on and off the coaster with the metal detectors and all that stuff. So Maverick or Steel Vengeance, I really can't pick one over the other. So I guess, am I allowed to make it a tie? I mean, this is my video, so I suppose I can do whatever I want. I really just like both equally. They're just so great. So I'm gonna go with, I like them both the same. Number 3, Fury 325 CAROWINGS. While I think the last few coasters that I mentioned offer a more intense coaster experience, there is no denying that Fury 325 is arguably the world's most re-rideable coaster, meaning that you can just ride this coaster as much as you want because it's just plain fun and smooth. And the way Fury is running this year, it is even more intense, but not too intense, and you gotta love the restraints because they're insanely comfortable. And a huge shout out goes to the Fury crew because they're always killing it. And if you ride Fury pretty often, then you gotta say hi to Sam, Peter, and Claudius because they really do go above and beyond to make sure you're having a great day at CAROWINGS as well as the rest of the Fury crew. Now it's time for my top 2 coasters that I've ever been on. Number 2, Velocicoaster Islands of Adventure. And hands down, this is the best coaster experience in the world from start to finish. From the storytelling in the queue line to the actual ride, Universal knocked this intimate LSM coaster out of the park, and there is honestly nothing else that I would change about this ride's layout. Velocicoaster's first half is super fun and provides a ton of near misses with the rock work and dinos. And then the second half is really where Velocicoaster shines. From the amazing top hat to the Mosasaurus roll, as soon as I rode Velocicoaster, I knew it was my new number 1. Even after multiple rides on it, it remained in my top spot until number 1, Iron Gwazi Busch Gardens Tampa opened. RMC, in my opinion, created the perfect layout for Gwazi. because it's not trying to do too much and you get to experience every element perfectly. That first drop is just wowed, and I love the out of your seat airtime moment on the first element. The barrel roll down drop is the key element of Gwazi for me. That element really took me by surprise, and it is legit just awesome. And I also really love the overbank turn, the insane wave turn, the stall, and the pull out from the stall. I thought was a really cool thing. I didn't really expect that transition, and to me, it's one of the highlights of the ride. And of course, the coaster's last drop into the brake run. Hands down, Iron Gwazi is my #1 roller coaster, and I was able to get 3 rides on this beast, and 2 of them were at night in the very back row. And that is when I realized I had ridden the best roller coaster that I've ever been on. So that is how I rank the top 25 roller coasters that I've been on as of 2022. And I gotta say, it's gonna be very interesting to see where Air Force One debuts on my list once it opens. Now I want to know, what are your top 10 or top 20 coasters? Be sure to let me know in the comments so I can read them. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.